Okay, so I'm going to jump right in and talk about what should be the goal of mgtow. Now, two things I want to preface. First of all, I want to talk about very quickly what I am to mgtow, and the second thing I want to talk about is like what mgtow's not, or I should say, you know, what I. Well, first of all, I should say that this is just my opinion, right? You can do whatever you want and call yourself whatever you want, but it doesn't mean it's going to be correct, okay? So, like I said before in my introduction, I am not mgtow. I consider myself a red pill. However, I fully support mgtow. I support guys who are going their own way. I have no issue with mgtow guys speaking their red pill truths. To an extent, if you are incredibly focused on women and you're just, that's your whole MO, you're mad about women, blah blah blah, and yet you are still calling yourself mgtow, I would say, I don't know, because you if you're walking away, you should be focused on other things and not just women. That doesn't mean you can never speak the truth about women. It just means that if you're so incredibly focused on women, just like radical feminists are incredibly focused on men, it's silly. It's like, well, just do your own thing. Just build up women, support women, but stop trying to do it through tearing down men, And it's the same with mgtow. Like, don't go your own way and yet at the same time just bag on women 24/7. Now, it is healthy to speak truth. I always believe that truth is a remedy and a rescue. Truth will save people. We need truth. A lot of women like to operate on a subtle plane. They like deception. They like to deceive men. They like to use untruths to catch men and get us messed up, and they like to hurt us through this. The truth should be the remedy, right? The truth is what heals you. The truth is what sets you free. So I'm fully for speaking the truth, right? So the truth is a means and a mode of freeing yourself from the matrix. The matrix is the lie. The matrix is the deception. The matrix is the cosmos world out there that is pumping out lie. The world is just a lie factory. That's what the world is. It's a lie factory. And women are part of that lie factory. I just heard Dr. Dre's wife is divorcing him, and she wants like $2 million a month or something insane, some insane amount of number. It's just absolutely insane what this woman wants. And this is sick. Women are being manipulated. Men are being manipulated, and women are manipulating men. Women are predators. I recommend a book called The Female Predator by a man named Lawrence. I forget his last name, but it's called The Female Predator by a guy named Lawrence. First name is Lawrence. And it talks about how women will manipulate men, just like Esther Villar's book, the Manipulated Man. Men are being manipulated. We're being used, right? We are being taken advantage of. Love is not a real thing. Love is a manipulated thing. Love is a vehicle for women to fulfill their hypergamy. It's a vehicle for women to fulfill their base desires and their animal instincts, which is to raise children. Women love children more than they love men. These are all truths that set us free. We were born into this gynocentric social order that puts women on a pedestal. She's the princess, and you gotta win her over, and you gotta save her, and you gotta be her prince and her knight in shining armor. While meanwhile she's fucking Chad. Meanwhile she's fucking the bad boy, right? This is the lie that we all grew up in. This is what got us messed up in the first place. Well, what is the red pill? The red pill is the truth that sets us free from this crap that hurts us, from this crap that kills us, right? This is crap that damages our emotions. Men are committing suicide in record numbers every day because this world is not for men. This world is a lie. This world is a damaging place, and we have to protect ourselves, and we do so by speaking the truth. Now, again, I don't consider myself mgtow, so I have to have this precursor to all this and just say that, bear in mind, I'm not mgtow. I say all these things, but at the same time, I like pussy. I like sex, period. So I can't consider myself full mgtow because I haven't fully walked away from women. If you have, good, fine. And I encourage you, because that's probably better. It's probably best if you can curtail and curb your desires, your base desires. And it's sad because there's a big part of us that wants love. There's a big part of us that wants companionship. There's a big part of us that needs that in a woman, but we gotta come to a point where we realize that most women, I'm not saying it can't happen, but most women can't give that to us because they're too solipsistic, they're too selfish, their nature's not really like that. Most of them. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying there isn't exceptions out there. I'm sure there are some women that are just gold. I'm sure there are some women that are just angels that really, really, love their man, are loyal to their man. They're not gold diggers. They're not hypergamous. It's rare, but I'm sure it happens. There's always anomalies, but most women are not like this. Most women seek men who have means, men who have resources, men who have value, right? So we have to come to a point where we realize we're probably not going to get that fairy tale love or that storybook love, that movie love that we always thought. Most marriages, most relationships today are really kind of agreements. They're exchanges of resources for intimacy, really. And I talk about this throughout millions of videos. So you can go watch any of my other videos and I talk about this. So I'm not going to go into that. But the reason why I say all this is because this is how guys get to the point where they go mgtow. This is how guys get to the point where they get red pilled. They realize this is, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I'm doing all this work and I'm getting nothing in return. Women don't love me. Women are just using me. Women are just manipulators. Women are liars. Women are using the system. Women are using men, etc. All these things, right? So you come to this point where you have to walk away. You come to this point where you say, I'm done with this. So again, I am not fully mgtow, but I fully support mgtow, and I'm just about fully mgtow. Like I'm anything. I'm like almost mgtow. Like I'll just say that. Like I'm as about as red pilled as it gets to where I'm almost almost mgtow. And the only thing that's really keeping, for all intents and purposes, I'm mgtow. The only thing that's keeping me from not going full mgtow is the fact that I still chase pussy. That just is what it is. Period. Now, I'll probably never get married. I'll probably never have a long-term relationship unless she just blows my socks off. So, with that said, I want to get into the meat and bones of my point with this whole video of why, or rather what is the goal of mgtow? What should mgtow men be going towards, right? Now this idea is really almost like a new social order, because this old system is not working. It's breaking down. Most marriages don't work. I think I read recently that according to statistics that there's an 8% chance of your marriage lasting for the rest of your life. An 8% chance. Okay. Now people say, 50% of marriages, 60% of marriages don't work. That's also statistics. I don't know how that all works out. Whether it's an 8% chance your marriage is going to work out forever or 50% of marriages don't work. I don't know how that reconciles each other, but I just know the odds are not in our favor. And when we get screwed over bad, and it's happening again and again. And statistically, marriage rates are plummeting because men are walking away, as we should, because it's not a good institution for us. Right? So this is a new social order that we're coming into. Now, I'm not saying mgtow is the harbinger of this new social order. I'm not saying mgtow is going to be the leader of this. I'm not saying that, but I think at the core, whether guys are admitting it or not, or whether guys are using these terms or not, the red pill truths are at the core of the new social order. I believe that's true because the facts don't lie. The statistics don't lie. This is what it is. This is the society that we are coming into, is a society where women are manipulating men, screwing men over, and men are waking up. So we have a couple bad experiences, and then we wake up and we say, oh, okay, well, this isn't going to work. I can't get married. I can't be in relationships. I can't have this because this isn't for me. I don't like the way women are. Their attitudes are disgusting. The way they carry themselves is disgusting. The way they manipulate men, the things that they do, their solipsistic nature, They're believing that they're superior to men. They're believing that they're the God's gift, and yet, what do they bring to the table? Just pussy, just sex. They think that's all men want, right? So there has to be a new social order that's going to naturally, organically spring up from that. Whether you want to call that mgtow or not, whatever. But here's the thing. Here's at the crux of all this. What is the goal of this new male social order? What is the goal of this personal new journey that men are going through? Obviously in the past we saw things like stoicism, we saw things like celibacy, right? Voluntary celibacy. We saw things like monks. We saw, where men and some women, nuns, but they recognize that this earth is dirty. This earth is corrupt. This earth is evil, and they wanted to walk away from it. They wanted something more. And I believe that there is something in most human beings that wants something more. It's just that a lot of people, they set their sights a little bit low, or they just want to be happy and have a family, and this is kind of their purpose. So everybody needs a purpose, and this is what used to make MGTOW kind of great was people were like, yeah, MGTOW should have a purpose, and what's the purpose of MGTOW is that men would find a quality purpose, and that's a good purpose. The purpose of MGTOW is that men would find a quality purpose. That's pretty good, right? The purpose is to find a purpose, find something that is purposeful in MGTOW or in your journey of MGTOW and the red pill. Find a purpose, and that should be the goal. What is the goal of MGTOW, right? What is the goal of guys who've taken the red pill, walked away from the gynocentric social order, and said, I want something more, Now, here's something I have to talk about that I should first start off and say what shouldn't be the goal. Because a lot of people, and I hear this, and unfortunately, I hear a lot of people saying, who call themselves MGTOW, call themselves red pill, saying that the goal should be to make yourself happy. The goal should be to take care of yourself and secure your future. I don't want to name names, but I'll name a couple big ones who say this. Sandman, Entrepreneur in Cars, Donovan Sharp, Rollo Tomasi to a certain extent. These guys formulate this idea that the goal should be you, and you should take care of yourself and all this, and you should be secure financially. Now, I'm not saying I disagree with that. But I'm saying, what's the after goal, right? What's the after goal? What is your goal for that goal, right? What is your goal for that goal? You have this goal of, I am making myself a better version of myself. I'm making more money. I'm securing independence for my future. What is my goal there? Now, unfortunately, you look at guys like Rollo Tomasi, who's married. You look at somebody like Donovan Sharp, who has a live-in long-term girlfriend. You look at somebody like Richard Cooper, Entrepreneur in Cars, who kind of quasi is a dating coach, right? He mixes in dating advice along with the red pill, which is really, it's kind of dubious, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate these guys for what they do. I appreciate their red pill advice for sure, because they've got top-notch red pill advice, some of the greatest I've ever heard. However, again, they mix it in with this, with women. And so obviously these guys aren't MGTOW. At the same time, they are sort of bastardizing and using the red pill in a way, like it's a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, I really love these guys' content, right? They make great red pill stuff and really helping a lot of men. On the other hand, they got dating videos, dating coach videos, how to make your woman do anything you want, how to do this, and Rollo Tomasi's married, and it's it's pretty weird. At the same, it's kind of contradictory. So, do we really want to let those guys dictate what our goals should be? And this is what I hear from guys like this, is that money should be the goal. Security should be the goal. Making yourself a better version of yourself, being the best you this concept of looks max, right? When you're looks maxing, you're buff and you make your face look the best, so you're most attractive. Essentially, this is what these guys are saying: make yourself the more attractive, give yourself more value. But again, I question their motive. I question the goal of that goal, because again, these guys are married in a long-term relationship. They have kind of dating advice. So really, it seems to me like these guys are still in the matrix. Even though they're talking about red pill stuff, even though they're talking about being free from the matrix, they're still in the matrix. So it's a bit misleading and disconcerting, in the sense that you're not really practicing what you're preaching. If you're going to be red pill, then dude, I can't get behind the fact that you got a girlfriend. I can't get behind the fact that you got a wife, because if you know female nature, yet you're playing into it. Now, I would respect it more if these guys were kind of single and like, you know what, I pump and dump, but I could never, because I've heard someone like I've heard Rollo Tomasi say on LAHWF show, where he was interviewed by that young guy, forget his name, LAHWF channel on YouTube. He was interviewed, and the guy asked him, well, you're married, what would you do if your wife ever left you? And Rollo Tomasi answered and said, well, I have so much value that I don't think she will leave me. And he said something like, well, what if you lose all your money? And he said, well, I don't think she'll leave me, because I have inherent value, because I've shown that I am capable enough to make the money in the first place, so I could make it again. I don't think she'd leave me, which basically just admits that his wife is with him because he's successful, right? And if you read The Rational Male, he gives you this sort of dating advice on how to, keep a woman around, like keep your value and don't put her on a pedestal, and always, never be fully available, and like, make sure that you're always the best she can get, and never fully invested, like all this stuff that's like trickery. And it's like, dude, if you have to do that to keep a woman around, you don't want that woman around in the first place, right? So it's like, I don't feel like these guys should be, their goal should be adopted by mgtow. And I hear these mgtow guys, these full mgtow channels. Now, these guys aren't mgtow, obviously. Tomasi, Richard Cooper, Donovan Sharp, these guys aren't full mgtow. They're just red pill guys. But they mix the dating advice, and they mix this goal but I hear other channels which are full mgtow adopting these guys' philosophies, these guys' goals, which is make money, make yourself more valuable, make yourself better, right? Why? So that you can be more attractive to a hypergamous woman, so that you can get a woman in a gynocentric society, a woman who believes that she's a princess, a woman who believes that she looks at you like you're going to fulfill all her desires, and you're going to give her the lifestyle that she feels she deserves, just because she's a beautiful woman or something like that. It's bonkers. No, if you've gone MGTOW, that's a commitment to, no, I'm not going to date. I'm not going to be this valuable guy so that some woman can put me in her goal list, or put me as the leading man in her romantic movie life that she thinks she deserves. No, I don't want anything to do with that. That's the point of MGTOW. Point of MGTOW is, in my opinion, again, I'm not saying I'm the lawmaker or I'm the leader of MGTOW or anything like that. I'm simply saying, in my opinion, MGTOW should be for you as a man. What is going to benefit you as a man? This should be MGTOW. MGTOW should be what's going to make you happy and what's going to give you purpose outside of women. Again, if you get married, or you have a relationship, or your goal is to have this happy life with some woman who's not, who's not a hypergamous, whatever, you can't find that, first of all. But even if that's your goal, you really are not MGTOW. You're not. You just are sort of using the red pill as a sort of quasi dating advice. And now I'm saying, I mean that's better than nothing, I would say. That's better than being fully blue pilled. That's better than being a beta mangina, beta provider, right, for some single mom, right? Sure, it's better than that, because at least you have standards. If the red pill gives you a set of standards, well, that's good. I appreciate that. I would appreciate the red pill as helping men in that way. If the red pill makes you, if it inspires you and motivates you to have more value in yourself so that you can attract a higher quality woman, then it's better than nothing. I will say that. right? But if you really, I'm not saying radicalized or you're a radical red pill or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, if you really understand the red pill, you really understand female nature, you're probably not going to want to get married. You're probably not going to want to have a long-term relationship, because you know that she can never love you unconditionally. You know that she could never really love you for who you are. It's always about what you do. It's always about what you bring to the table financially. It's always about what you bring to the table resource-wise. It's always about what you bring to the table as far as your success, as far as your value in the world. This is how women operate. This is female nature. So once you understand that, you're kind of ruined from real normal life, quote unquote, whatever they consider normal out here in the Matrix, which is, get a family and blah, 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 and have a wife and get a house and all this shit. Well, again, if you don't have that house, if you don't have that money, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to have a family. You're not going to be able to keep a woman around. She wants that success, and this is female nature. Again, this is why you can't live that life. This is why you can't be because that blue pill goal, that blue pill narrative, that is the blue pill realization, right? Oh, I found love and this one, but again, if you don't have the things, then she's not going to be there, right? And this is where blue pill guys sort of are living in a dream world. This is where blue pill guys really deceive themselves, because they sort of ignore that whole part where, like, well, if you don't work, if you don't have resources, she's not going to love you. If you still stay in the Matrix, then you are really just pushing aside the truth, and you're saying, yeah, well, whatever, I still have a woman, at least I have a woman, like, but again, her love is not going to stand the test of time. So how could you really, how are you really succeeding? I mean, sure, you got that temporary, you got that conditional relationship, that temporary conditional relationship, as long as you're the best she can get, as long as you got that resources, she'll stick with you. But if another guy comes along who's better, she'll monkey branch. She'll jump ship, or she'll cheat on you if the opportunity arises. If a hot guy with a nice cock comes along, she'll jump ship. Well, I won't say she'll jump ship, but she'll cheat. And she knows in the back of her mind that she's sought after as an attractive female. So if she cheats and she gets caught, and you leave her, she knows she can find somebody else. She knows she'll have another guy who's got a house who will, she might like you, she might even love you, but she knows that you're replaceable. And she feels that she's obviously irreplaceable, because all women are like snowflakes, right? They're all unique and blah, 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 because this is how men idealize women. This is how we idealize love. Women don't. Women are not the same. Women are not the same as men. And this is where Hollywood lied to us. This is where the movies lied to men, that there's such a thing as true love, and you just got to win her over. But even that is a part of playing into that gynocentrism. Women do not view men as if we are irreplaceable. Women view us as what we can do for them, and if we can't do what they want, they will replace us. This is, when you learn that, you really can't go back. When you really fully learn that, it's like you just have to, there's no way to go back unless you just totally ignore the truth and deceive yourself into believing that she loves you unconditionally when she doesn't, right? So I just want to, I just say that to say that you can never have this perfect, valuable goal, goal realizing life where, well, I found the love of my life and everything's all good. Like, no, she will always be looking around, and she will always be looking at other grass. Is that grass greener than my grass? Can I get a better guy? Can I do this? Can I, she'll always have that. And that's unfortunate. So if you consider yourself mgtow, that shouldn't be the goal. If you consider yourself red pill, that life should not be the goal. What should be the goal, and even making money shouldn't be the goal. What should be the goal is having a purpose, having, being happy in your life for who you are with what you have, or what your goals are. Making yourself, whatever it is. If you like chess, you want to be the best chess player you can. If you like painting, you want to be the best painter you can. If you like traveling, that fulfills you. Whatever fulfills you. Making other people happy, making other people laugh, helping other people, feeding the homeless, whatever it is, that should be the goal. It shouldn't be. The problem with the blue pill world, the problem with that other world is it says The woman is the goal, and this is why women started walking on men. And we shouldn't, have other goals so that we could put women in their place or whatever. Women are always going to be like that. They're always going to believe that they're the prize. Always. You have, which is why mgtow is so good and important, is that when you walk away and you choose to not be in that relationship and not play that blue pill game, it's not that you are taking power away from women. But that's not the goal. The goal is that you free yourself from that blue pill mentality. The goal is that you free yourself from those chains that said, oh, I gotta perform and I gotta have a woman or else I'm a nobody, I'm a loser. That's the goal. The goal is to be free from that. The goal is that's not even in your mind. Now, you might be lonely, sure, and that may never go away. Right? You might be lonely. You might live a lonely life, and that's unfortunate, but it's better than the alternative. It just is what it is. I mean, you're going to be lonely without a woman, or you're going to be cucked with a woman. You're going to live this life where, well, I got a woman, but I don't really feel like she really, because a woman can't love you unconditionally. So you'll never have that blue pill realization. That's where Hollywood lied. That's where Disney lied. That's where they lied to you by making you believe that you were going to have this kind of happiness with a woman. You were going to have this kind of happiness with a family, and it's not going to happen. You might have a family, and you might have a little bit of happiness, but it's not going to be unconditional. You always are going to have to be the resource provider. You're always going to have to be the provider, and if you're not, she will leave you, and your family will be done. That's just what it is. If you're not a provider, she will leave you, and that's why you need to have that red pill realization, to where I need other goals. I need something to make me happy. It needs to be about me, not this sacrificial life that everybody tries to say a man should be. A man is a father is a man who sacrifices himself for his family, and like that's just a nice way of saying they don't want men to be happy. They don't want men to get their goals met. They don't want men to, come to their realization of happiness or whatever, which, and hey, if you can find that in a woman, if you can find that unicorn, if you found her, and damn well she didn't love you for your money, and damn well, she won't leave you if you lose your money, because that's been tested, and she hasn't left, and she stuck with you through hard times and all these things, and you saw every facet of her personality, and you saw her moods, good and bad, and you still love her, and she still loves you, and you find that, hey, that's great. You know what I mean? But it's probably not going to happen for most of us. So anyway, I just want to make this video talk about what should be the goal of mgtow. I've sort of somewhat touched on it. I'm going to leave it there. And I can tell you one thing. It's not about money, and it's not about giving yourself more value to the world, because that's what we should be leaving. We should be leaving that concept of I need to be more valuable to the world, or I need to have more money or resources because that's what my value is as a man. No, you have value outside of money. You have value more than what you do for work. You have value more than just your resources. You are more important than your career. You are more important. You yourself are more important than your job. That is not your identity. Your identity is your personality. Your identity is who you are, which is more important than what you do for work, more important than your career. No matter what this evil world tries to tell you, no matter what these women try to tell you, you are more important than that, okay? And believe it, man, and find your happiness, whether it's fishing, whether it's boating, whether it's painting, whether it's sports or whatever. Find what makes you happy. That should be the goal of mgtow, and to come to that realization where you mean more than just what this old gynocentric, sick, hypergamous world, which is all about money and materialism and resources, wants you to be and wants you to think that you need. Oh, I need this house, I need this boat, I need this, that. Like, no, just go get a $200 kayak and go on your local lake and have fun by yourself. You don't need a big old